Well, you must be Shanice.
Oh, Miles, right?
Roach.
What? When?
No, 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 no. My friends call me Roach.
Oh, whew, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, don't be sorry.
I'm gonna just call you Miles.
Hey, it's fine. Whatever floats your boat. You know you're really beautiful. I'm surprised someone like you is actually on this app.
Thank you. Haven't really had the best luck with dating. My work schedule is so busy, and I want to have a baby. So here I am. Tell me, what do you do?
Well, I'm a chauffeur.
A what?
A chauffeur.
You mean a chauffeur? Like you drive for Uber or rideshare or something?
Yeah, and I rap.
Oh,
You want to hear me spit something?
no, you don't got to do that.
I'm about to blow up the mic. Roach rhymes is tight. I knock you out like a light. If you say something wrong, I fight. I don't care what time it is of the night.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
So what you trying to do? You trying to get out here and smash or what?
Smash. Are we in high school?
I mean, why not try to just enjoy all of this right now?
I'm good. Check.
Yes. So, salutations, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And I guess so this just based on that clip alone, the one thing I could say is they both had clear intentions, didn't they? They were both kind of straightforward about their intentions, right? But if you wanted to get more into, a deeper dive into that storyline, please make sure you check out Merry Little Baby, starring our guest today. Um, and so you could kind of get more clarity on that, so you could catch it on Tubi, and the link is going to be in my description box. So I am so privileged to have my next guest on. She is a actress, writer, director, and just all right, cool person, because I had some technical issues in the back here and she was so patient with me. So I just want to just express my gratitude in public about that as well. But I just had to make sure that I had on my bra as well so I could be presentable enough to present to you and introduce to others Miss Denise Mone't. Here we go. And here she is, the beautiful Denise Mone't. How are you? How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there,
Yes.
I'm perked up now because I just don't like when things like that happen. I get frustrated, but I'm good.
Good.
I'm calm. I'm
Good.
calm now. Yeah. So but I forgot something. I'm good. I remember I asked you before. Did you have a separate device? I meant to ask you.
Yes, I logged on my
Okay.
computer and I have my phone.
Okay. Now, can you see the back chat, Denise? Are you able to see the back chat here?
Is that the
Let
like
me
what
let me type something and see if you can see it because I meant
okay,
to let me just establish that first before
got
we
you.
begin. So I want to make sure we're prepared here. All right, so I'll make sure that if not, I could just DM it to you.
Got you. Because I see wait, maybe it says join the chat. Okay.
It's the
So
it's a back chat. It's a private chat. Do you see?
okay, I
It's
see
also
private chat. Yes, I
okay.
see that.
All right, you got it.
Okay.
It's very important for our segment later on in the interview.
Got you. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Matter of fact, let me get mine. Let me get my phone as well. But before so while I do that, I always like to start in the beginning. I always love to hear the backstory of of my guests because I always enjoy to hear the nostalgic tales of people's childhood and where it all started from.
Right.
Where you were born and raised, single parent household, two parent household, siblings, cousins. Did you have some humble beginnings where you had to use lemon fresh joy as bubble bath, or did you have more well to do where you actually have bubble bath in the tub? So let me know. Give us a little bit more about your childhood while I get my device as well.
Yes, absolutely. So I am originally born and raised in Houston, Texas. My parents did get married, but they got divorced when I was very young. So I went back and forth a lot between my mom and dad. We did 1 week at mom's, 1 week at dad's. And in the beginning, it was a lot. Um, until I went with my dad full time because that's when we moved to Mo City. And so I
Oh,
was with him. Yeah, I
what's
was
Mo
with
City?
him.
Give the audience what Mo City is.
That's like in Missouri City, it's a
Okay.
town like near
So
Sugarland, in
okay, so we just
between.
get them
Yeah.
understanding.
Yes, yes. And so that's where I grew up in Mo City. And so yeah, my parents, I have an older sister. I have a young my younger brother who we have the same mom and dad, and then I have two more younger siblings. So it's yeah, so I feel like if for the longest I thought I was the oldest because I didn't meet my older sister until I was 5 and she was 8. So
Why?
yeah, well, she has a different mom. And so for the longest, we didn't even know about her until she came in a couple years after, and then my dad got a DNA test, and it's like, you are the father.
Oh, okay, got you. That what it is.
Yep.
Well, at least you were younger, Denise. That's a good thing. Y'all was able to still grow up together. Because I didn't meet my siblings until I was 20, 21.
Mm.
So yeah,
Well,
so I do.
technically, we
Yeah.
still didn't even get to grow up together. We still grew up
No.
very
Oh,
different, and you can tell in our
okay.
adult life that we grew up very
Totally different. Yes.
differently.
Yes.
Yes, because that was another
Mhm.
thing too. I know you asked like how I grew up and stuff, and so like on my mom's side, they're from Third Ward in Houston, and then on my dad, I'm
They
in
had to live with
Missouri
such joy.
City.
Your mom had to live with such joy in her
Yeah, it was
household.
it
And
was
then,
she didn't let I wasn't allowed to go outside when I was at my mom's. Like she didn't let me go outside in the tree.
oh, okay. So it was bubble bath at your dad's house.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Then my
Okay,
mom got
gotcha.
up out of Third Ward, and now she moved over into the neighborhood across from my dad, and now we was living suburb life in both
Oh, so
for
she got the
both
bubble
of
bath
us.
after. Oh, okay, see?
Yes.
That's all right. See?
Yes.
All right. That okay, it worked out. But you know what, Denise? But I mean, and I do understand that there are times where you know none of us as children we have no control of how we were raised and how our parents end up where they are. But at least you got the best of both worlds. You know, at least you
Right.
was able to have those type of humble beginnings, and then you transitioned into more well-to-do, you know.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but you had the best of both worlds, so you know
Yes.
how to navigate through both. So I mean,
Absolutely.
that's a blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue. I just want to insert that
Um,
real quick.
yes. And so now I have a son. I'm a single
Hmm.
mom. He's 5. And
Oh,
yes, and so that's been such a blessing just to be a parent. It's something I've always wanted. Even with my film Merry Little Baby, there's some truth to that. That I wrote
oh
that
yeah. We're
way
gonna get into
before.
that. Yes,
Yes.
we're gonna get into that.
So and yeah, so my siblings, my brother, he has 2 sons. One passed away
Mm.
at a daycare in Missouri City, and so
In a
I did a
daycare.
move. I did a movie about it called Bash that's streaming on Tubi right now, and so yeah, it's based on his true story. And then he has his son that he has with his wife now, and his name is Santana. His birthday party is today, actually. That's why I
Oh,
needed
happy
to do this
birthday,
earlier.
Santana. Oh,
Yeah,
happy
that's why
birthday,
I had to do this earlier
Santana.
so we can go to the party afterwards. It's a pool party, so
Oh. Oh, so you said a pool party?
uh-huh.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yes.
Are you still I don't wanna if you don't wanna say where you are right now, but are you still in Texas? If you
I live in
okay.
Houston still. Yes.
Oh, okay, nice, nice.
Yes.
Oh.
I used to live in Atlanta when I first started acting. I moved to Atlanta and I lived there for 2 years. That's how I got started. And then I moved back
Mhm.
to Houston when I found out that I needed to have surgery because I found a cyst. So I had to have surgery. And so I
Mm.
moved back to Houston to do that. And I just kind of been here ever since. I haven't been back to Atlanta, but I'm kind of glad because I don't think I would be directing and producing films right now if I was still in Atlanta. I think I would just
Really?
yeah, because I was only focused on acting. If you would have told
Right,
me that when I
yeah,
first started, if you would have told me
yeah,
that I
because
was gonna be
Atlanta is
directing
the
and
mecca
producing.
of filmmaking and entertainment now. So
Yeah.
that's interesting that you would say that. Hmm.
Just because I like I said, when I was out there, I was more focused on acting. I didn't
Right.
even think about directing and producing,
Oh,
even
that's what you
editing.
mean. Oh, that you mean in that aspect. Oh, okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
yes.
Okay.
I thought that I was
Oh,
just going to be just an actress. That's,
gotcha. Okay, okay.
and so, but that's what I mean. Like, I probably would have just focused more so on that because I just would have been auditioning all the time and doing that. But coming here to Houston, it kind of put me in a position to be able to find my own lane. So,
Okay, and I'm glad you did that, but we're gonna get into that lane in a minute. But let me shift to the left lane real quick because I want to go I want to go back to your upbringing because I know you gave us the blueprint as far as you're relocating and navigating through a product of divorce. I mean, so you gave us the foundation there, so thank you for
right.
that. But I really want to get more into, and especially with the household coming from lemon fresh joy to bubble bath, because I'm still on that one. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna let that one go, Denise. I'm sorry. so, when you, so when you was when you was using the lemon fresh joy, when you was in that space with the lemon fresh joy, give us some memories, give us some childhood takeaways that you like, the type of music you listen to. Did y'all have to fight over the TV? Did you have to ration out the food? Did you have to make Kool-Aid with a whole lot of sugar? Did you have a bunch of cousins? Give us some memories of hop. Did you have hopscotch back in the day? Double Dutch, um,
Right.
going out until the street lights came on. Give me some of those lemon fresh joy memories.
Yes, yes. So with my mom and her side of the family, they were very close when I was growing up.
Okay.
A lot of cousins, a lot of cousins. She has her siblings, and then she has her cousins who had kids. So you know, we all was around each other a lot. I remember at one point we had to move in with her grandmother, and we stayed there. I felt like it was a lot of people in the house, from what I can remember. Some of those
Yes.
memories are like kind of blur,
It
because
was.
of
Oh, okay.
yeah, a lot of things that we probably had to go through, just seeing my mom, struggle like that. And then when like I said, we really didn't even get to go outside a lot when we was over there. But
Why?
again,
Was it
just
because of
because
the neighborhood?
she didn't want us
Uh,
out there in the neighborhood and stuff with those kids. I didn't even go to school in that district. Like I said, since my dad lived in Missouri City, like I used to have to get up really, really early so that she could take us still to our dad's so we can get to school
Get
over
to
there.
school.
So it was
Mhm.
1 week, even though it was 1 week there, 1 week there, I still went to school and did everything when I was with my dad. And so I know I just remember having to wake up really, really early in the mornings to get everything. And then my brother, I had my younger brother because when we were in elementary, we went to Varnett. We went to Varnett Charter School before we moved to Mo City. And where we had to used to wear the plaid. We used to have to wear the
The
plaid.
skirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't too much as far as like, we had to share it, or we only get to watch one TV or anything like that. I do remember me and my brother being in the same room. So that in that aspect, it was like us, like, but we watched the same things. I grew up on 90s music because I love 90s music. So I like
Mhm.
I still listen to it to this day. So my parents, both of my parents got remarried too as well. So
Okay.
it's now I
Good.
feel like,
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
so now I
bookmark
feel
that,
like we're
Denise.
growing.
Yeah, I need you to
Yes.
bookmark that because I
Okay.
want you to get more into the blended family aspect. But yeah, but bookmark that. I'm gonna get to that
Got
too.
you.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
And so and then at one point I know we had to move in with my grandfather. Um and that was a different transition because he was a preacher. So my mom was a
Oh, yeah.
PK. And so
Ah,
we were getting
mm.
up early for Sunday church Bible study first. We
Sunday
went to a
school. Mhm.
Baptist church. So we started
Oh,
off with
Baptist.
Sunday
Okay, enough
school.
said. Mhm,
Yes. We started
mhm,
off with Sunday
mhm.
school first. We was there till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon when church was
Yes.
finally over.
Mhm, mhm. Yep.
So we grew up in a strict household then. And then my mom, she used to be very strict. It's so crazy how she's a lot more lenient on those grandkids than
Of
what she
course.
was with us.
Of course. I think that's
So
part of the
yeah.
handbook, the hidden handbook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like it's a
Yeah.
it's it's an unwritten rule or something that they gotta
Yes.
go by.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
yes, that's how it was for me on my mom's side.
on your mom's side. So now when you get to the bubble bath side, with your dad, can you give us because you said that you had to, make sure that you got there in time for school. So we
Hmm.
got that. So what else
Yes.
about that household within that aspect?
So eventually, like I said, once we moved with my dad full time, once we made that decision, because my parents used to argue a lot about the way that we were raised because
Mm,
my mom felt like my dad spoiled us. And while we were
gotcha.
spoiled,
Mm,
I got my first car at I think 14 or 15.
wow.
Before I even had my before I even had my
You gonna
my
say that out loud? And we
permit.
gonna say that out loud for the mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. You just
Before I
telling
had
yourself.
my
Go ahead, Denise.
permit.
Just go.
So we were very, very privileged. My dad worked really hard. He worked at a he still works at a plant, but he worked at this plant and worked himself up since
Oh,
he worked there since
nice.
before I was even born. Because he had a track scholarship, but then my mom got pregnant with me. He went and worked at a plant, and he started off,
Wow.
with that minimum wage, and worked his way up to
Yes. Worked
where
his way up.
he was making. Yes. And so I remember when we bought our first house, out here in Fort Bend, it was just, excited and proud. It was, we had a pool table and, all of that.
Mm.
So it just felt like, we
Mm.
was living, a great life, that he worked really hard for.
Yeah.
And
So he
so,
earned that. Well, so I guess he's saying, look, woman, I earned this bubble bath right here. You ain't gonna
yeah,
tell me.
yeah,
No, no.
absolutely,
But it's
absolutely.
so important though. But all joking aside though, I think it's so important that each parent, especially different households, different lanes, gotta at least be meet in the middle when it comes to raising the children. That's so important, yeah,
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
don't want to cause a
And
divide like that. Because okay, okay. So segue into that, Denise. How was that for you? It's like I said, it's great to get the best of both worlds, but at the same time, it's like did that affect how you interacted or encountered on both sides? Because you have
yes,
your mother who's more strict, more had what I want to say
more
run a tight
structure.
ship, run a tight ship.
Yes,
Then
yes.
dad was more lenient. So
Lenient. Yes.
right, so how did that sit with you? How did you
I think
navigate through
now
that?
that now that I'm an adult, I understand a lot more now, especially now that I'm a mother as well. But when I was growing up, I used to I used to feel some type of way towards my mom to where I did end up making the decision to go live with my dad,
Mhm,
but I understand like that tough love, because everything is not going to just be given to me, just because my dad can buy things for me and things like that. So it's kind of like I had to learn both sides of it, And so,
right.
but I as a kid, it used to just be like feeling like, you're not being fair and and
Mhm.
you used to be like, well, at dad's house we can do this,
Yes,
what I'm saying? It's
yes.
like, but you ain't at your dad's
Just
house, you know what I'm saying?
yes, I
Like,
need to hear that. Yes, yes.
yes, so it
Mhm.
was it was a lot that I had to grow up and understand, but I didn't understand at the time when I was actually in it.
Of course, because you was a
Yeah.
child back then, so it's understandable that you would have that type of that's why I asked that question because I understood, like,
Mhm.
how did because of course
Right.
you're gonna play both sides, but you're gonna use that to your advantage. I mean, what child
Mhm.
wouldn't? Let's be real
Right.
about it. Let's be real talk here. So, but
Right.
also let me ask you this. With all that now, did your dad ever instill certain values of how important it is to work hard for what he has and
Absolutely.
understand where your mom would, even though they might have had difference of opinion, did he actually instill certain things with you and your siblings about understanding where your mom was coming from? And did she instill certain values in you to understand where dad was coming from and the reason why their approach is so different? Was those
I
explanations
think
given?
that I think that because they had so much anger and
Okay.
bitterness towards each other that
Hmm.
they wasn't I think it only came to down to when it was certain things that it's like obviously both parents are in agreement on, especially when it came to discipline. I wasn't really a child that got in trouble a lot, so it didn't have to really resonate that with me, but it did with my with my brother. He got in trouble a lot. He got in trouble a lot, and so he was the one that they had to come together on, get on the 504 plan, you know what I'm saying, in
Ah.
school, and
Mhm.
being in school with the parent meetings and stuff like that. That was what they had to come together on for him. But for me, it was more so just kind of being the big sister that is, that had to grow up kind of fast, and take a
Got
lot of
you.
responsibility, especially when I was with my dad, because it was like it was just me, him, and my brother. I learned how to cook very early. I
Okay, so
learned
you was
how
the
to just
homemaker. Okay, you was the domestic okay.
yes, yes. I learned how
Mhm.
to do a lot of that stuff very, very early. But my dad, he did a lot. Like he knew how to comb my hair. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
remember wearing the pigtails and everything with the knockaballs and all of that, and him used to combing my hair and
Oh,
everything.
knuckleballs. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yes, but one thing I can say, like, especially as an adult now, like seeing, the struggle that my mom had to go through, and I know that she's never had to depend on anybody, and I kind of have been that way now for myself, being a single mom and everything. And like I'm the type of person, like, I don't wait on nobody, because that's
Yes.
what
Mhm.
she more so instilled in me. Nobody is gonna just give you anything. You got to work for this, and sometimes the people that you think you can count on, you can't, and you might have to do these things on your own. And so I learned how to be very, very independent, and it gets hard, because it's like, as a woman, you want to be soft and you want to be
Yeah.
nurturing, but
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's like it's in my nature to just be a
Mhm.
go-getter, to be that person that's just gonna go and do whatever it is I gotta do to get stuff done. So
And you can still do that, Denise. You can still be that because I'm glad you said that as well because that's another segue. And we're gonna talk about this a little bit more when we get into more adulthood. But just understanding that yes, you can still have that. You can still have your own lane. You can still be independent. But when you mentioned soft girl, there's a time and a place for that, and you can still balance it out. But you also
that's
have
what
to
I'm
be with
learning now.
yes, right, exactly. But you also have to make sure that the person that you're dealing with at that moment gives you the safe space to be there to do that.
Yes,
To where
yes.
so you can allow yourself to be a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more gentler.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, it's a matter of the space that's given to you to do that. But sometimes, being too independent could kind of, it may not you know. Yeah. So but yeah, but thank you for like I said, but thank you for that transparency as well.
Mhm.
And also now I like to go into the elementary and junior high school phase. I love to hear the stories about elementary school and junior high school because a lot of times, especially as we get older, we don't realize how pivotal that period in our lives are. So I like to
Right.
get that experience because that's when we have a different level of self-discovery, first of all. Maybe we may not know about it at that time, but it is a level of self-discovery there. We are discovering our anatomy, how to hump in the staircase. We are, we know there's memories of playing in the yard or during recess, pizza parties, or just, learning your vocabulary words, writing in cursive back then, you know.
Back
So
then.
back then, right. So give me your elementary and junior high school experience.
Yes. So when I like I said, when I was in elementary, I went to a charter school. I used to get teased a lot. I
Why?
remember getting bullied. I was a I mean, I'm still am, but I was a very, very hairy girl. And my mom did not allow me to shave. She didn't allow me to shave. And so I used to get teased. I remember them calling me hairy monster.
Oh my goodness. It was like, I mean, how was it? Like your arms and legs and
My arms and legs for sure.
oh
My
my
legs for
goodness.
sure. And I regret it to this day, because now I have to shave my legs like every other day. I have to shave them every other day because my hair grow back so fast. She used to tell me, "Don't shave your legs.
Because you're
Don't
gonna
shave
grow
your
more.
legs." Yes.
Mhm,
And so I
mhm.
I wish I would have listened to that, but I did it behind her back because I got tired of them teasing me. I got tired of them teasing me. And then she also kind of like helped me get a little tougher, because I used to just be crying all the time, about these girls not wanting to be my
Right.
friends and stuff
Doesn't
like
hurt your
that. And
feelings. Yeah.
she just used to be like, you better stop crying about having these little girls want to be your friends and
But
stuff like that.
yeah,
And
but you know what,
so
Denise? I'll pause right there real quick because and I've always I reflect on some of this on some other guests about that, about the bullying, and how verbally abusive, children can be. And so a lot of times, you mentioned, and there's no shade to your mom, because I know she just did what, she told you what was best at that time, how she felt was best to just, I guess, in her mind saying, don't allow them to get to you. But at the same time, you have the right to feel the way you do. And it just
Mm-hmm.
seems dismissive to me. A lot of parents, and like I said, a lot of parents are like that towards us, especially at that time, to have that dismissiveness, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to know do you remember how that made you feel at that time? Did you feel like she was
Um,
dismissive?
I think that it just kind of like, because now I'm really not a person that um like as I grew up, I'm like, if you don't want to be my friend, then we don't have to be my
Okay.
friends. We don't have to be friends.
Mhm.
So it was more so like, you know, but I was never like, once I got to middle school, because I started to get into sports and stuff, like I had friends and I never really had like the issue of somebody, oh, we don't like her or we don't want to be friends with her. I never really had those type of issues as I got a little bit older. Um, but I think it was more so because I wasn't like my mom, like how she taught me, like I wasn't really one that wanted too much attention to even be, or be around like a bunch of girls. Cause I just remember her used to saying like that's why I don't have that many girlfriends. Girls are messy and girls are this and girls are that. Like I remember her telling me all that type of stuff about like with her friends growing up and and all that. But like I said, as I got to middle school, especially when I started playing sports, because I played basketball, I ran track, and so you just become friends with your teammates and stuff, and everything just kind of flew naturally with that. Just not necessarily like being popular, but just being somebody that was just involved in so much.
Yes, yes.
So
And I love that.
yeah,
Yes. I love that
yeah,
for you.
yeah, and even like talent shows, stuff like that. Because
Nice.
I remember them coming to my school, especially my dad, because everybody knew my dad. Like everybody knew my dad, especially by the way he dressed. They thought he was either a pimp or a pastor. I remember them asking me that all the time
Ah,
because
okay.
he was
Dapper.
always in a suit. He was
Mhm.
always in a suit. Definitely not a pastor though. I'll tell you that. Not necessarily a pimp, but he
You was just
definitely wasn't a
dapper.
pastor. Very,
Yes.
very dapper. Very, very. Even still to this day, like he dresses so like anytime we go somewhere, it's like, is this event for you or them?
Oh,
Because
right.
you
For
out
them,
dressing
right.
them.
You know what? You sound like Quincy Sharp. I interviewed with him and he said the same thing about his dad. And that's how he learned you know, to dress, to be well dressed.
Yes,
Yeah. So that sounds just like
yes.
Quentin Sharp. Yeah.
Like he be tripping on me if I'm going outside, like not like sometimes I'll throw on something for my son just to go play, and then he'll come home and something completely new because my dad is like, you sending him out looking like that.
Oh, wow. So he would change his outfit? To
Yep.
play. I'm like, he's just going to play. I'm like, Daddy going to play. Like,
Yeah.
why he need
We
to be
put
like,
on
why he be playing in the suit?
new
I love it. I love it.
Yes, yes. So that was more so for me for middle school and elementary. But like I remember the most like awesome thing that I remember is always winning. Those contests where they give you those things to sell, and you will
Oh,
sell the things and
oh yes,
like,
the candy.
yeah, it was like candy or like it wasn't just
Yeah,
candy though. It was different
right.
things. Yeah, it was
Different things.
different
You have
things
to
that we
order it. You have to put your name on this sheet.
Yes, yeah,
And
on
it's
the sheet
yeah.
thing. I just remember
Mhm.
always winning those competitions because my dad will always take it to his jobs, and like
Ah,
I would he would have so many people buying stuff. Like so many people buying stuff. I remember that. I remember like coming back to the school and being the one that sold the most because he was always like just
wow.
either he buying the stuff or his co-workers, family and
And what
everything.
prize did you get? Because you don't know, you would get a prize as well. You were able to get
Yeah,
something
I
out of
think
it.
we was able
What
to
did you
pick
get?
stuff. I can't remember. I feel
You
like
don't
we
remember
was
what
able
you
to
get?
look. I can't remember. I remember we was able to like pick stuff though. Like it was like a certain number of points that you had or
Yes.
something. It was like
Yes.
for these number of points you get to pick these things. Kind of like a little category or whatever of
Yes.
points with different things you can pick. But yeah, so those were fun memories. Even when I look back at like my pictures and stuff, um like I remember before my parents got divorced, they took us to Disney World. And my
Ooh.
dad lost us at the airport. I remember my
Oh,
mom running around pushing my brother in the stroller and me trying to keep up with her, trying to get to our gate, but we couldn't find my dad. Like
where the heck did he go? Like, how did?
I don't know. I don't know. It's so many different things that I just remember. I remember going to Christian camp, like summer Bible camp and stuff
Bible
like
school.
that.
Yeah.
But like I just remember so many different things, during those times.
Yes,
Um
yes. Thank you for bringing. Thank you. I love. So, no, I see this. What I'm talking about, because some people always withhold stuff like this. This is what I'm talking about when I ask about childhood, elementary. You got this is the stuff that I'm talking about. So, thank you for that.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes. Absolutely.
yeah. That sense of nostalgia. Now, what was if you could recall, Denise, what was the self discovery time? Like, what did you discover about yourself at that time, if you can remember?
I think because like I said, it was at one point where I went with my dad full time. I want to say um around maybe 5th or 6th grade, because I remember in 6th grade I got out of school early, and I know I remember being at home. I remember being at home by myself. Cuz like I said, I felt like I grew up pretty early, like to be able to kind of like take care of things. But I never forget what, and it kind of like made me be a little more alert and more aware, especially of my surroundings and things like that. Because
Mhm.
I went to sleep. I went to sleep and I was the only one at home. And I guess I must have knocked my phone over, like the home phones, the cord
The
phones.
quarter phones. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think my parents may have been calling me to check and make sure I was good, but I must have kicked the phone or something off of my bed. And so the next thing I know, it was police like storming in my house.
Ooh.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Wellness check.
because
Yes.
because I guess from the phone knocking over and it tussling, and you hear me breathing, it sounded like a struggle as the phone is like
Mm.
falling to the floor. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I guess my mom called my dad, called the police.
See what you
It
did,
was
Denise? That
it
was
was
all
so
your
many police.
fault.
It
That
was so
was
many
your fault.
police
You see,
outside,
got those
and then
parents worrying about you like that, girl.
yes,
And you
and
by
they had
yourself, home by yourself as
yeah,
it
I
is.
was
You know, no one supposed to know that you was home by yourself.
I wasn't
See
supposed to
how
be 6th
you
grade.
messed up,
I
Denise.
sure
You
well,
messed
I
that up.
probably
You
wasn't supposed to
see?
be at home in 6th grade. But I do remember like, and then I think my dad may have asked the neighbor to check. So he was in the backyard, and I remember them like pointing guns at him. Like thinking he was the intruder. It was crazy. It was crazy. I've been a light sleeper ever since. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't sleep hard. I don't sleep where it's unfamiliar places,
Right,
unfamiliar
right.
settings. I have a hard time sleeping. Um and so like I said, once I got to middle school and started being with my dad full time, I think that is what kind of like had me transition into like being more aware and everything, because my dad was he was dating, we I met he dated my 3rd grade teacher once. I
Wow.
remember when she came to the house. My dad was a player back then, okay? So
Wow. I
like
could
I remember
imagine.
I like it was just always like even one of my school nurses, like so I just remember when she came to the house, and I'm not gonna say her name because apparently, years later, it's ironic. I started dating this guy, and I don't know if I
Okay.
should tell this story, but
No,
I
God,
started
please
dating.
do.
I started dating this guy, and when he told me his last name, I was like, "Oh, I know somebody with that last name." Blah blah blah.
Oh,
And
that's the
I was like, she used to date my dad. I was like, she got a son named this and da da da. And he was like, yeah, that's my aunt, but she been married all my life. And I'm like,
oh, but oh.
So, that started some drama years later. Because like I said, this was my third grade teacher. Okay. And here I am in college
Yeah,
now
he done spilled all the tea. She's been married
dating
all
dating
my
her
life now,
nephew.
but
Dating her
it wasn't your
nephew.
dad. It wasn't your dad.
Nope. So yeah, so it just kind of like, I would say this. I love my dad to death. He's a great father, a great provider, a great protector, so it's a lot of qualities in him that I see
Mhm.
that I would want in a man, except for that player part,
Yeah,
except for that
right.
player part. Back in the days.
Yeah, back in the day, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
he lived his life. Let's say that he lived his
Yes.
life
Yes.
abundantly.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But
And
now they're both remarried. My mom's remarried, my dad's remarried, and so and I'm grateful for the village I have now because
good, yes,
yeah,
yes. And that's
yeah.
that's what I wanted to get into just a little bit later on, but I just wanted to first, before we get into the high school aspect, I just wanted to ask you to, because I know I saw when I was going through your page and doing more research on you, you was embracing your younger self. So I want to know where you are right now, and based on what you have given me, the stuff that you've given me, can you what would you say to younger self at this moment? You know.
Yes. Um, so I've always been a kid that was like that loved the spotlight. And
Mm,
so I would tell my younger self to not be afraid
mm,
of what other people have to say about you
mm,
because like I said, I used to get teased and bullied, and but I was always like, you see that dress I had on, that's the way
mm.
my parents had me dressed, just like a
It's
superstar,
cute.
like a star. Yes, that
Yes,
was that.
cute.
I love to be in the spotlight, love to sing in the talent shows and everything, the center of attention. And so I would just tell my younger self to never be afraid to just be you, because I probably was being, shy or more reserved around certain people because of how I think that they would see me. But the more that my parents started to embrace my talents and stuff, especially my grandma, my mama, she always signed me up for all the talent shows. And anytime we was around family or something, she was always volunteering me. She could sing for this. We gonna get Keita to sing. We gonna get her to sing. So so yeah, I would just tell her, baby girl, you are born to be a star. So don't let nobody dim your light.
All right. All right. Well said. Well said. Thank you for that, Denise. Yeah. Thank you
Yes.
for indulging. Yeah. So, and you a cute little girl, by the way. You're very cute.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. You really are. Yeah. So, but that was actually that photo. I just want to explain to the audience that that was Denise. That was the adult Denise, and she was embracing younger Denise. Because the AI,
Yes,
you're
yes,
able
yes.
to create those pictures. That was a trend where you
Yes, I
have the
love
older
that. It
version
was
and the younger version. So that was
yes,
Denise, older Denise and younger Denise. So that they're both
yes.
Denise. Yeah. So just in case, because she'd be like, "Oh, that look just the mother, your mom just look just like I look like twins." But
Right, right.
all right. But thank you for that. So now I want to get into, what high school did you go to?
I went to Hightower High School in Missouri City, Texas. Mo City.
Missouri City. Okay. And so now with high school, of course, that's a whole nother type of self-discovery there. And I
Mhm.
don't want you to get into that. Were you still playing sports? Were you still popular? Did you start learning about dating and what your standards were at the time, and what academia, like, get more into that aspect of high school.
Yes. So, I loved high school.
Okay.
I started off freshman year playing basketball, and I played basketball. I ran track. I was on the dance team. And so I had a lot of friends just from those different groups, because the basketball girls are very much different from the girls that's on the dance team.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
oh
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
So it was like,
Hmm.
I was like, was somebody that was in the middle that was cool with everybody, And then even just my teachers and stuff, I never really had a problem like with my grades. Maybe in history. I didn't like history. I didn't like history. I'm not really good at remembering facts for
Dates and
some
all that.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was really good at math though. Math was my thing.
Okay.
But I did really well in school. Not necessarily like valedictorian or nothing, but I got, A's and B's. And so it was a great experience, especially like now once I got older, because I my teeth was who, and I had got braces. And so once,
Wow. I tell you, Denise, you had a lot going
before,
on. You had,
yes,
you
because listen,
werewolf in
I used to suck
London.
my
Now your teeth.
thumb.
Uh, uh,
Yes, I used to suck my thumb. Oh my gosh, I used to suck my
ugh,
thumb,
ugh,
and it messed my
ugh.
teeth up. Okay, I'm telling you, my
Yeah.
teeth were so bad when I went to the dentist, and they was telling me about the braces. I got my braces in high school, and they were telling me that my top jaw sat inside my bottom jaw. So they was like, your jaw is too small,
Wow.
and they were like, we need to expand it so
Expand
it
it,
can
right?
be even. And so they were like almost telling me that I was gonna have probably have surgery if my jaw wasn't gonna move on its own because of my age, because I was in high school when I got my some
Right.
people get them very younger. And
Mm-hmm.
so they was like, yeah, you need to stop sucking your thumb, or we're gonna have to break your jaw. And I was like,
Ooh.
when I tell you, I started
Yeah,
sleeping with
like
socks on my hands
yeah.
and
You
taping
gotta,
them.
yeah.
I was like, we got to stop this. And so they put an expander in my mouth. They put an expander in my mouth that I used to have to stick a key up and turn every day to open up my jaw.
I never
So
heard
my
of that.
teeth,
A
yes,
key.
baby, we went through a lot to get to this spot. Okay.
Well, man,
And
you
so I
can't
finally
tell.
got them
Like,
off.
there, show us your smile.
Yes.
Show us your smile. Denise, guy.
You
Oh my
know,
goodness,
we went through
you
a lot to
deserve
get to
that. You
this
earned
spot.
that. You earned your smile. Oh my lord. Oh,
So yes, so when I finally, got my braces off, and I started dating. I remember my first boyfriend. My dad actually went to school with his dad, and
really? Y'all
yeah.
just all like one community. Like, wow.
Everybody knows, because see, my dad,
Yeah.
he went to Madison, so it's like everybody knows him. Everybody knows my dad. It's crazy. Like, I was just in Miami for ABFF, and some man came up to me. He was like, Denise, I'm thinking he knowing me because of my movies. He's like, Denise Mone't. I'm like, how you doing?
No, you
He's like,
so
yeah, I know. I went
daughter.
to school with your daddy. I went to school with your daddy. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, but he knows everybody. Or everybody knows him, shall I say? And so when he found out, because when I tried to lose my
Oh,
virginity, that was really bad. It was really, really bad.
mm,
Um, because
do
I think I
tell.
wrote it. I think I wrote it in a journal or something. And yeah, and the crazy thing is, because I didn't even actually do it. I tried to, but we like, I don't know if we were too scared, because we were both virgins. And so it never really happened. And so but I wrote in my
But what
journal
kept it
about
from
how I
happening? I'm curious. What kept it from
I
happening?
think I think it was more so scared because, one, we was in my parents' house.
Oh,
You know what
oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah. And so I wrote in my journal how I remember putting the words, I almost became a woman. I remember saying that. And I'm in class. It's my seventh period, I think. And I'm in class, and this is my junior year in high school. And I just remember getting a text from my mom that said, I know you didn't become a woman in my house. And
Oh,
I was like, why she say those words
wow,
just like
yeah. Why,
that?
why did she say
Like,
that?
and the way she said it was like, did she find my journal? And I'm like, how? Because my journal is at
Right.
my dad's, and this is my mom texting me this. So come to find out, my stepmom found it and reached out to my mom. And when I tell you, school go by so slow, but in seventh period, that clock was
Yeah.
moving,
And
baby,
you were
for
just
the
like, oh my
bell.
God, like
And I
what
was
am I
like,
gonna get
slow
home
down, because
to?
I'm not ready to go home. you
Right.
know? And so I came home, both my mom and my mom was at my dad's house with my stepmom. And they were like, asking me all these questions. And then there was like, she was like, I read the part about tattoos and I just had to keep reading. And she's like, you got a tattoo? Like I got a tattoo, my first
How did you get it
tattoo.
without your parents' consent?
We went, in a garage with some people that I wasn't supposed,
Really?
what I'm saying.
Oh my God,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes, I was 16. I was 16. And
And you didn't get
yeah,
infected at all? You didn't get an
no, thank
infection?
God. Thank God.
What, girl?
Um, and so yeah, but they hadn't told my dad. They hadn't told my dad. My dad came home and he was shocked to see my mother in his house and me crying. And he's like, "What is going on?" And then my stepmama, she's so messy. She gonna go to the refrigerator and grab him a beer, talking about, you gonna need this, have a seat. And and he's like, what is going on? He's like, why are you crying? And I was like, just I cried and said, what had happened. And he was he took the beer to the head. He took it to the head. It was like, so you effing in my house don't pay a goddamn like,
Oh
and it
my
was horrible.
God.
Listen, it was so horrible because like I said, we didn't even really do it. So it was like, it was so horrible that I didn't even try again. It's like got into college.
Well,
My
scared you.
freshman
Yeah,
year
yeah.
in college.
Scared your butt. Yep.
So I was technically a virgin
You were
until
scared straight.
my freshman year. Yes. Yes. Like they started talking about
I love this.
STDs and all of this. They took me to the and not even the STDs for the sex, because they talking about because of the tattoo. They talking about the needles and all of this. So they took me to get to the clinic, had me
I love
getting
it.
tested, everything.
Love it.
Just scared me straight.
I
Scared
love
me
it.
straight.
I love this.
And I technically didn't lose my virginity until my freshman year in college, with my boyfriend that cheated on me.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna get into that. Oh, we definitely gonna get into that. But no, but I want to insert this, Denise, because I'm by the way, I'm loving this. I'm really enjoying this. I'm enjoying these stories. These stories are really hitting. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, but I'm so glad. See, and I wanted to get more into the whole blended family thing. So I'm glad that you got into those stories because it just shows how much of a support system that you had. And it was so protective of you. Even back when you almost had somebody killed because you had the cops coming over there because they didn't know what was going on, to now you getting tattoos and
the last
trying to lose your
whooping. My last whooping I got was in 8th grade when my dramatic self was trying to play a prank on my dad and pretended like somebody broke into the house and kidnapped me.
Why would you do, girl? Okay, I gotta hear this one. Why would you do that?
I don't know. It was my it was my 13th birthday.
Oh my
I was
Lord.
trying to play a prank. But then when it happened, I was like, something clicked, and I was like, well, wait, what if he called the police? And I was like, could we go to jail I started freaking out with me and my brother. So I was like, okay, let's just clean up the house and we're just gonna say, it was a joke or whatever. But my dad, he wasn't joking when he came home
no, it wasn't no
from
joke.
work. And he had, like I told you, he worked at
man,
he had on his steel-toe boots from his, because like I said, he worked at the plant, and when he tried to whoop me, he slipped and fell, and he was like, I'm gonna take these doggone boots off. Like, he took them boots off and tore my behind up and kicked me out, made me go next door.
He did Ike Turner. He took the boot off. He did Ike Turner. Oh wow.
Yep. Kicked me out, made me go next door to my neighbor's house, and yeah, I was over there for a couple of hours. I thought he was gonna cancel my party. I was like, it was already paid for though, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, he still let me have the party though. That's what I mean by that kind of that privilege.
Yes, yes. I mean, you got some nerve about some doggone party.
I got my butt whooped, but I was still able to have my 13th birthday party or whatever. So yes, that was the last whooping that I got. But this is, like I said, my dad was with my stepmom by then, and this was like right before high school. So yeah, the way that my parents, because my mom, she eventually moved into the neighborhood across from ours, and so we started doing the back and forth again, like sometimes at her house and sometimes at his house. But I do remember, like, because of the time that we were separated from my mom, I remember kind of acting out. I remember acting out because not having my mom, especially like, when I first started my period and just,
Mhm.
things that you
Would
will want your
normally.
mom around for
Mhm,
and stuff.
mhm.
That was a period of time where she had to be absent for a little bit. And so it was a lot. It was a lot, but like I said, once she moved and came to the neighborhood
A
across
little
from my
closer.
dad's,
Mhm.
yeah, that's when things just kind of started to blend. And we were able to do things, all together, as much as we could. So yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful. So yeah, but I understand that too when you have that void that needs to be filled, but I'm so glad that, there was a time when she was able to kind of merge
Hmm.
into the bubble bath side of things. So I'm so glad that she was able to able to do that. So yeah, but I thank you
Yes.
so much for sharing those stories with me. Yeah, I enjoyed every last one of them. Yeah. So now can you tell me oh, what was your self-discovery in high school?
Okay, so like I said, it was more so because I didn't have my mom for those first couple the early years of my high school year,
Right.
um, until she came back. And I I started to, you know, kind of discover myself, my beauty, and and accepting who I was. Because when I was in high school, I was the girl that was, "You're pretty for a dark skinned girl."
Mm-mm.
I got
Mhm.
that a lot, so much
Mhm.
growing up. I got a lot of, I don't really date dark skinned girls, but I would date you. And
Wow.
it kind of just, it kind of had me deal, the realization of colorism, in high school with, the girls that I was also friends with that were, of lighter skin tone, or, curlier, longer hair,
Mhm,
whatever.
mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
so I just really had to like become, one with myself and accepting of my own beauty within. And to do that, but in the earlier years without my mom was kind of difficult. But as I got
Yes.
older, and start to, like, cause my mom, she calls me still to this day, she calls me Beauty. That's her nickname for
Aw,
me, and
aw.
it just kind of like resonated with me as I got older, once I started to kind of discover myself and, my inner beauty, especially with my personality, because I was always just fun, energetic, ball of energy, that people kind of gravitate to still now, like,
Mhm.
um and so that was just something that I had to discover within myself, like, just, the beauty within, and there's beauty in all skin tones and all shades,
Mm.
whether you're light skin, dark skin, whatever. So yes.
Love it, love it. And congratulations on discovering that because I know all too well about being put down for darker skin. But we could go
Mm.
into a whole colorism thing a whole nother time, Denise, because we could be
Right.
here all day for that. So thank
Right.
you for sharing
Right.
that. And thank you for the self-reflection and the self-discovery that you was able to acquire. Yeah,
Hmm.
congratulations on that. Um, now I want to get into like right after high school. What did you do right after high school?
I went to college,
You went to college right after.
literally.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. What name of the college, please?
I went to Sam Houston State University in Huntsville, Texas.
Huntsville, Texas. And so,
Huntsville, Texas.
and what did you study?
So I started off studying communications, and then I thought that I was gonna like try. I tried pre-med. I thought I was gonna try to do like either pharmacy or nursing, but that wasn't for me. And
Mm.
then so I went to the counselor and I was like, please tell me what degree can I get to where I don't have to be here longer than 4 years.
Ah,
Because I felt like I
mhm.
was wasting
Yes,
credits, and I was like,
right,
I didn't
right.
want,
And I'm
right.
glad
So
you knew so back then. I'm glad you knew at that time.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like,
Hmm.
the from the credits that I've taken, what degree and what can I study that I graduate on time still. And that's how I got my degree in business.
Ah, gotcha.
Yes. Yes, I got
And
my
what did you want to
bachelor's
do
in
with it?
business. So at first, because I was more focused on business management. Because once I graduated, I got into like working at restaurants. I ended up becoming a manager at a restaurant and stuff like that. And just like eventually owning my own business, that was always the goal. But that transition, because I ended up getting my master's in education and becoming a teacher. So it was like,
Oh, okay. We got
yeah,
to get into that. Okay, we get into that in a
yeah,
moment. Yeah, okay, definitely. Okay, but before we get to that part, so you got into different because I'm glad that you didn't commit yourself to a particular major at that time, because a lot of times you make that mistake, including myself, rushing into a major and not, getting into liberal arts or trying to kind of figure out where you want to go. So I'm glad you
right.
didn't. I'm glad you did it that way. Now you said that because I didn't forget about that virginity part, so you ain't lose it until college.
Yes.
Okay, but you said that and then you gave up the V card and he ended up cheating on you. So can you share
Yes. Because
more?
I actually met him my senior year in high school, but he was a freshman in college. And so like for all I know, he was probably cheating on me the whole time. I just didn't find out
More than likely.
until yeah, I just didn't find out until my freshman year in my freshman year in college. But yeah, because he went to TSU and so I went to Sam. And I just remember I was crazy. I was crazy. I'm probably gonna write a movie about it because I was so
Yes, please.
crazy.
Yes, yes.
I was so crazy in love over him, and I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing as far as like once I found out about the cheating, like I was driving up and down 45, driving up and down 45, pulling up
To
at his
do what?
school, pulling up at his school, pulling up at his place, pulling up to his track practice, pulling up at his job. He used to deliver pizza for Pizza Hut, and one time uh, uh, he was delivering the pizza, and by the time he got back to his car, I was in his back seat.
Oh,
It's some things I'm not proud of. It's some things I
how
was
did you
not
end
proud
up?
of.
Denise?
Mhm. Mhm. He had me crazy. Like it's like don't cheat on me, okay? Because you're gonna have me crazy.
Yes, yes. PSA, real quick. PSA: do not cheat on Denise Mone't. If you know that you're not ready for commitment and you don't want any type of monogamy whatsoever, please do not
No,
steer
no,
Denise wrong.
and this is why the relationships that I've had after that, why? Because a lot of people have asked me like, about spinning the block.
Okay.
Because I'm a one and done.
Hmm.
Because I
Hmm.
know how crazy I can get. So like people that have cheated on me in the past after him, it
They
was
have some
like,
stories to
nope.
tell.
I was like, nope,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
not finna have me acting like that again. So I would just leave. I would just leave. I got more mature because I said, you know
Hmm.
what, these people are not worth going to jail over. Because some
Right.
girls throw a brick through your car window,
Yes.
key in your car.
Mhm.
I done had my car keyed behind this man.
By somebody else. Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
Hmm.
No, but I used to be crazy. Like, all of my stories, my films is all stems
Yes,
from,
you have so much material, Denise. You better use
I
that.
have so much material. I've been married twice, okay? I have so much material.
Oh God, yes. Oh, Denise, girl. We gotta come. We gotta revisit. We gotta speak of spinning the block. We gotta spin this block right here. We got speaking of spinning the block. Because you gotta come back because I gotta hear some of these stories. We gotta have a part two to this. Yeah. Just by
So
your
yeah.
experiences alone, with that alone, that's a whole nother hour. So yeah, we gotta circle this back. We gotta circle back to this. But what I want to know before we go on, how did you get inside that man's car? How did you get inside the car?
Listen. So cuz the car was unlocked because all he was doing was just going to the people's house to deliver it. So
Oh,
while
right,
he
and come
was
right back.
walking to their door, I just got in the back seat and
But
I
how did you
laid
know he
there.
was? Oh,
And you know what? The crazy thing is, it's not like we had the iPhone where we was tracking locations back then. So I'm not even
right.
really 100% sure how I found him.
How did you find?
I
Right.
just I knew what Pizza Hut he worked and I knew the area he was delivering in. I think I probably must have just drove around until I found his car. I think that's what I had to have done. I had to until I found his car. I parked my car. I remember parking my car and creeping and getting in his back seat because he had a truck. So I was like in the back. And as he was driving, I popped up. He's like, "Oh!" like, yes, I remember those pop ups. I remember those
Yeah,
pop
because I
ups.
wouldn't know what
But
his
you know what's
reaction
crazy?
was.
But you know what's crazy? To this day, that man still love me, and if I wanted him, I could have him back. Yup.
You know that. You know what, Denise? That don't surprise me. They love.
They little crazy.
They love
They little crazy.
they love that.
I'm like, what is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. They are, some of them are addicted to that toxicity. They are.
I'm so glad that I've like given up. I don't even entertain the toxic life. Like my life right now is so
Calmer.
like, yes, so peaceful. Like we communicate, you know what I'm saying? We're transparent, like no, all it's ooh. The maturity,
Much better.
the
Much
maturity.
better.
Yes.
Yeah. So now
Yes.
well, 'cause now that we into that, what we kind of segue into that, and okay, so this is like a two-part question here.
Hmm.
What are some of the like key things that you learned? I know you talked about it, but I want to get more into the key things that you've learned about yourself and how you handle in a relationship, and how do you navigate now in your current relationship?
Right. So in the past, because for one, like I said, I was after my first love, I was not tolerating cheating from anybody. So
You
any of
shouldn't.
that, it was done. Like I
Hmm.
would break up. I wasn't going back. I wouldn't spin the block or anything like that. Because even one of my exes, I didn't find out that he cheated on me until after we broke up, when he tried to get back together with me. But he felt
Mm.
like he needed to come
You
clean,
yeah, mhm,
and I
cleanse his
was like, "Yeah,
conscience.
you should." I said, "You should have kept that to yourself, because now
Mhm.
I could never
Why?
be back with you."
Yeah,
You know
now
what I'm
now I'm
saying?
really done. I'm
Like,
really done. Yeah.
yeah, because I never
Mhm.
knew. I never knew while we were together. You know what I'm saying? So, but one thing I had discovered about myself is more so because I'm a giver, and when I see something, I tend to try to fix, or um it's almost like a like that nurturing side of me that just
Mhm.
wants to help somebody, and so I tend to stay in something longer than what I should. I've ignored many, many red flags, just trying
Yes.
to, instead of falling for I was falling for potential instead of realizing who they were. You
Savior
think that,
complex.
yes, you think that
Mhm. Mhm.
eventually that they will
They will
get better,
change.
or that they
Yeah.
will change, and you just have to
Mhm.
start believing people for who they are.
Yes.
And the one thing, like, I like to refer to, especially like when it comes to marriage, like when the scripture of he who finds a wife finds a
Mhm.
good thing, like you have to be that person when that person finds you. If they are not who they are while y'all are dating, while y'all are talking, during that stage, a ring is not going to change anything on both sides. That man is not going to change nothing just because he finally decided to marry you, and that woman isn't either. So whatever qualities you are looking for in a person, if they're not showing you that during that dating stage, during that relationship stage, that courting stage, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to change. So you just got to
Mhm.
accept it. You got to
Yeah.
accept it.
Yes,
So
absolutely. Mhm.
so for me, it was more so, um like, baby girl, you can't save everybody. So just, everybody doesn't deserve that type of grace that I be
Yes,
given.
and I'm
So,
glad you learned that, because there's some people that within our age group, Denise, that still hasn't gotten it yet. They
mhm.
still haven't learned. But you learned from both marriages. So what was it? Was it the same for both marriages?
So with my first marriage, that one necessarily, if just a brief, quick notes, cliff notes. I thought I was gonna
Yes.
die. I thought I was gonna die. It was when I was giving birth to
Mm,
my son, but I had gotten
mm,
tricked. My first husband, I didn't know his real name or his ethnicity or much about him until after I was engaged and pregnant
really?
by him. Yeah,
Wow.
and so trying to just make it work because I was already pregnant,
Did you make
but
it into the?
another
Is that a
thing,
movie? Did you make it
not
into the
yet,
movie yet? Oh,
not yet.
what you waiting on?
But
All right, that's,
right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I mean, but I'm just like,
But
okay.
just the simple fact of, you know, me, like the whole situation that happened, trying to make it work, and then it was during COVID, and so when I was in the hospital about to give birth, he wasn't even there. My mom was there, but then they uh they were like telling me that everything was going, like, that was going wrong with me, like my body was just shutting down from stress, from
Oh
everything.
no.
Literally right before that, the woman that he was, we with, came to my job to let me know
Oh,
about it while I was
oh,
pregnant. So I
what?
kind of just, I had to be like, yeah, I had to be
Oh,
admitted in the hospital,
oh,
and I
Denise,
thought I
I'm
was gonna
sorry.
die. I thought I was gonna
Mm.
die. So I married him in the hospital because I thought I was gonna die.
Wow. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Denise, what the hell you waiting on? Where's the script? Are you
So
girl?
that was
Oh,
a different
what?
situation. That was a different situation on why when getting married in that one. But with my second one, I thought for sure, like, okay, he would change, and not seeing the patterns
Right.
of his past
Mm-hmm.
relationship, even the pattern of his father and his relationship, with
Mm,
his father and his mother with their
yes.
marriage and stuff like that. So it was just something that I had to learn really in that relationship. One for sure is taking my time because I am a lover and I would go
Yeah.
all
You love
out.
hard. You
I
love
would
hard.
dive right in.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
love really, really hard. And so more so like this with this relationship now, like we don't even talk about marriage. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like we don't have to, we've both been married before. So it's like it's no rush for that.
Right.
It's
You
no and
enjoy
I've
the
even had to
time
come
now. Hmm.
yes, and I've even had to like I saw a movie that made me realize like people that rush into those things, like it is a red flag. It is a red flag. And I should have seen that, but I didn't because I'm so blinded by the love and the
Yes.
romance and the butterflies and
Right.
the honeymoon stage.
You had true
So
intentions.
yes. And
Yeah.
it's and I'm writing a movie about just like how like they talk about us women choosing the wrong men to even father children with.
Yes.
But it's like, how about we talk about the men pretending to be something that they're not, that we fall for,
Amen.
because
Yes.
somebody even asked me, like, when I tell them the story about my first husband, like, so did you like you believed him when I say that he lied to me about his,
I mean, why
I didn't know
wouldn't
he was an
you?
illegal immigrant
Yeah.
from Mexico.
Why
Who
wouldn't
lies
you
about their
believe?
ethnicity? Who not?
Like,
Who
why
lies
would I
about
mean? Why
that?
would you question certain? There's certain things you're not going to question. Like, why would you question that?
Right.
Like, oh, by
Oh,
the way,
you
are you
said
a
you
U.S. citizen? Like,
if you tell
yeah,
me that you're Jamaican and Puerto Rican, and I'm like, oh, okay, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, no, you're not. you know.
right.
So when I found out that you're an illegal immigrant from Mexico, it's like, wait, what? I told the whole
Right.
story on my TikTok, and it's titled "I Thought I Was Marrying a Black Man." So yeah, it's crazy, but I had to learn that from both of those marriages. And so like I said, the relationship I'm in now, we're just being patient with one another and taking our time
Absolutely.
and enjoying, this journey. Especially now, this is my first time dating somebody that's within the same industry as me as well. And so just that aspect alone, because my past relationships, not even just my marriages, but even guys I've tried to date, with the jealousy and the insecurity of me being in films,
Being,
having to
mm-hmm,
do kissing
mm-hmm.
scenes or love scenes or just being in a relationship in a movie in general, a lot of men can't handle that. Women too, on both sides. And
Of
so
course,
you have to
especially
be,
women.
secure
Mm-hmm.
within
Yes.
yourself, to know your partner, to trust your partner and know that it's just film. And so I'm grateful to have met somebody that we're on the same page when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And we can communicate about the same things. We have the same goals. So yeah,
And I
it's
think it's
just a
better
lot different.
too. Yeah, it is. And I think also, Denise, I think sometimes I think relationships and marriages last longer when not only when you're older, you understand more about how you need to reflect on certain things, work on yourself, and also don't don't rush the healing process and being able to be more seasoned in it and more,
Yes.
yeah, so I think it just makes such a difference. So I'm happy for you both. And would you mind sharing who that person is? Because yeah,
Yes.
yes, I'm
And
always
for people
patient with
that
her.
want to know, especially
Yeah.
because they think it's a movie, but no, we are in a relationship. I'm in a relationship with Emery Lawrence, for everybody that
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Because I wanted you to say it. I didn't want to say it.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Emery Lawrence. I had the pleasure of interviewing with him a couple of months ago. So make sure you check that interview out. Cool, solid dude,
Yes.
solid dude.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for sharing your perspective because I just really, really it's refreshing to know that not only were you able to be transparent about, the crazy stuff that you was doing, for the sake of love, what you thought that was or how it looked
Right.
at that time. But it was stages, Denise. I mean, you were younger. When you were younger, you were in college, and you like, look, you had certain expectations, and he wasn't fulfilling them. And then with the marriages, and and you were able to just kind of have an understanding of what your worth is.
Right.
Nobody could touch that. So yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I just
Absolutely.
wanted to, yeah. So so thank you so much for sharing that. So Denise, what I want to because I want to cover that ground first before I want to get more into your career. So I want to get
Hmm.
more into how that even start for you, and I want you to give me like the start, like how did it happen for you? How did you know that you were creative, like doing through? Because that
Right.
didn't just come out of nowhere. It did not come out of nowhere because when you're creative, that's within you. Like that's something that you probably didn't discover it at that time, like until later
Right.
on, but
Right.
it's innate, in
Yes.
you. So when did you discover that?
So the interesting thing is, as far as like being an actress and filming, because when I was growing up, like I said, I was in a lot of talent shows, so I was always, somebody that wanted to be in the spotlight, but I did not think that it was going to be for acting per se.
Mhm.
And so what discovered it was when I went my senior year in college. I went and auditioned for a play.
Okay.
This is my first time just even trying anything. I think I went and saw one and I just kind of got inspired and was like, I wanted to do that. And so I just signed up and I auditioned for a play out in Houston. And at the end of it, when they called my name and said, you're going to play, we're going to cast you as Jada. And
Mhm.
I said, Jada. I said, "You mean like the understudy of Jada?" And they said, "No, no, we're gonna cast you as
Oh,
Jada."
extra role. Mhm.
I said, but that's the lead role. I was like, wait, that's the lead.
Yeah.
So I was
Right.
like
Right.
shocked
They right.
because
They knew what they wanted you to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is my very first time auditioning, doing any type of acting. I never took any classes or anything, but I booked the lead role and it was so much fun because performing on stage is different than film. There's no cut,
Mhm.
and you have to be
Yes.
very good, when knowing your lines and your scene partners and even
Mm,
improv because sometimes you may need to just switch it up. Because I remember during the show, the lights went out in the theater, and I just remember my castmate. She was like, "Jada, girl, you ain't paid the light bill." And I said, "I thought that I did." We just
oh,
keeping
oh,
it going.
wow. I love it. I
You know
love
what I'm
it.
saying? Wow, why they figured the lights out and stuff. But so that was my very first performance doing that. And so from that, when I graduated, I said, I thought I was gonna go to LA. I was like
Mm.
thinking I was looking for apartments. I went out there and visited and everything, but I was like, I cannot afford this, And
Mhm.
so then my dad told me that we had family in Atlanta, and so I was like, okay. And then ironically, I had got a DM from somebody that saw my clips and stuff from my play and was like, we want you to audition. We do this play, but this play is like a play that goes on tour. But we are
Mm.
based in Atlanta. And so I was like, okay, but I had to go there to audition. So me and my dad, we packed up a bunch of my stuff and we drove out there and I was like, if I make it, I'ma stay. If not, we're gonna just drive back home to Houston.
Right, right,
So
right.
I auditioned. I got the part and my dad took the mega bus back because we drove my
Mega
car.
bus.
Yes, he
Wow.
took the mega bus back to Houston and I stayed out there. I lived with a relative for a little bit. And then I ended up getting my own apartment and everything. I started working at Hooters. I was a Hooters girl. So I was working at the restaurant, and that's how I
Yeah,
became a
you still had to
manager.
pay bills.
Yes, like
Yeah.
I started off as just a Hooters girl, but I ended up moving up as a manager because they saw that I had my business degree.
Hello. Hey,
Yes,
you
so I
just
was
you
doing
have to
that.
use somehow. Yeah.
Yes, so I was doing that, and also that's how I got into teaching because I was substitute teaching because it was flexible with the schedule as far as like my filming. So I was doing acting classes. I booked my first feature film called The Killing Secret, where I played the second lead in that one. And so I was doing a lot. I was getting auditions all the time for so many things. I just knew that I was about to book something big, but then I found out that I had the cyst and I had
Oh,
moved back home and had the surgery. And yeah, so that brought me back home to Houston. And I met with like people that was filming out here, like Brandy Specs. That's how I met Brandy Specs. And I auditioned because she actually went to Sam Houston as well. And so she kind of like helped me get in, and I auditioned for some stuff, became a PA on a set, and from that set the guy that was the director, he was like, I was like just kind of calling things out a lot, like just noticing things and helping out more than just a PA. And he was just like, you got a really good eye, you would be a good director. And I was
Mm,
like,
mm.
what? No. He's like, no, I'm serious, like, I want to hire you to direct my next film. And then that's how I
Just like that?
directed. Yeah, I
Wow.
directed the very next film. I was the director, and then that's how I got started. And I've been writing, directing, and I was doing other people's films, directing and writing other people's films. And then um I finally wrote my own script, um, which is I wrote the script about I got catfish while I was living out there in Atlanta. And so I turned it into a movie. It's called The Break of Dawn. And
Okay.
so I
Look out
wrote
for
that
that.
back when I lived
Okay.
in Atlanta, but I
Okay.
finally, got to do my own script. So I think I definitely have like over 50 credits as just an actress.
Oh,
But
wow. That's
yeah,
amazing,
it's
Denise.
just yeah, and
Yeah.
that's just stuff that's out. Because I still
Right,
have stuff
right,
that's not even out yet.
right.
I'm going by like my IMDb. But as far as like credits overall, I think it's almost close to 300 because of writing, directing, producing, and
Yes,
acting.
that's right. You better
And
add
other
all
people's
those up.
stuff.
That's right.
Yes, yes, and
Mhm.
editing too. So like now I'm coming up with like my next project that's I'm waiting to turn in and drop is my series Mo City. Mo City Dirty Game. So I'm excited about it cuz I've been doing movies for so long, but to finally do a series, and I'm doing
Love
it
it.
with O'Shea and Bolo from All the Queensmen. They're executive
Nice.
producers on it. So I'm
Oh, yeah,
excited. So
I've
yeah,
seen the
that's
photos. Yes, yes.
yeah, so from to go from just, auditioning for a play, and getting the lead to where I am now, it's a crazy story. I tell my dad all the time that I can't wait to accept my first big, award. And I
Award.
say,
Uh-huh.
my dad drove me to Atlanta for my very first
I
audition,
took
and
the
I told him
megabus
if I
back.
stay, and he took the mega bus back.
Wow. That's
So
amazing,
yeah.
Denise. And so let me ask you this, Denise. Because I know you have a lot under your belt, but I just was curious about when you actually see your work, whether you're behind the screen or in front of it, what is your initial reaction to whatever work you do from the outside looking in, on the inside looking out?
So
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
So um for one, acting is always gonna be my first love. So I love when I see myself on the screen. It just amazes me, how far I've come along,
Mhm.
especially with my very first film and how it looked to now, especially with the quality and
The
everything.
progress. Yes.
Even just the makeup, like
Yes.
shout out to Chelsea. I brought her on for Merry Little Baby, and that was my first film where I actually had a makeup artist on set, and she just made me look so
Ah,
pretty. It was just my makeup was so pretty, and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta have a makeup artist all the time now,"
right. You need your
because I
glam
was just
squad now.
yes,
Yeah.
right. So yes, and so just seeing the transition from the first film that I did to the films that I see now, especially because I love to tell different type of stories. I don't like for my stories to be predictable. I like to have the great plot
Absolutely.
twist that nobody figures out. And of course, my comedies like Merry Little Baby and the newest one that we're gonna have this year called Mama Mae's Christmas. To be able to showcase different range. To play the drama. To play the crazy obsessed wife, to play the detective, and to play, the funny girl. So I love that I can show my range within that as well. And so I think Merry Little Baby is the one that opened that up for me because it's my first one. Jaleesa, who is a business partner of mine, she actually cast me as my first lead role in Through Sickness and Hell, because all of
Okay.
the other movies I've always played like a small cameo or just a supporting role, but she cast me to where I was number one on the call sheet. I was the lead character, and so a lot of people will be shocked by that. I'm like, I started off in 2013 when I did my first play, and here I am now. We did that in 2024. So it's like, to see that how the journey, that it took
Trajectory.
to me to get, yes, to get to that lead
Mhm.
role and to be that. But then for Merry Little Baby, that was my first project where I was the writer, director, producer, as well as number one on the call sheet. Because it's not easy to
Ooh.
do all of that on a
Mm-mm.
project, you know. So to direct and be the lead role,
Yeah.
and but I've been doing it ever since that project because I'm like, if Tyler Perry can do it, I can do it too. Doggone
What? Right?
it.
I know, because I can imagine. I mean, how do you manage those roles? But before you answer that question, I want to know how often do you critique yourself on screen? Like when you look at yourself,
Time. All the time.
like how
Especially
did I?
like because
Yeah,
the camera
why say it
adds
like
10
that?
pounds. I'd be like, I
Yeah.
gotta get in the gym. Like, you know, or the fact that, you know, I had a project where I didn't have Chelsea do my makeup because of the budget or whatever. And to see
Right.
the difference, like when I see the project where she did do my makeup and I look so pretty and not, it's like, no, we need to whatever I
Yeah.
need to do, we gotta keep the makeup. We gotta keep the
Yeah.
makeup,
Keep it.
you know.
Yes.
So it was
Yes.
just a learning journey, but then I'm like hard on myself, especially when I see mistakes or things that we don't catch until it's out, you know. And so I do kind of just be hard on myself, just wanting to be better, you know, on the next one. um and so, but I have a really good team of people who help me and who I trust, you know, that'll tell me the truth, you know, because I'm like, don't sugarcoat nothing for me, you know. If you see something, say something, you know.
Yes.
So I appreciate people for that, you know, the people that are I'm surrounded around in this film industry.
Wonderful. Support system. See, it all goes back to
Yes.
the support system. But I
Yes.
also real quickly, I wanted to ask you, like, when you have to play, I mean, wear multiple hats behind the scenes, like, how do you manage it? I know you said about your support system, but outside of the support system, what is your approach um towards
So,
that, towards
right.
managing all those
It
roles?
it more so started off because budget wise, you know, not being able to pay everybody to do.
Right.
So it was more so me taking on more of
Mm-hmm.
the load. But then it became just that because of the crew and even the actors that I work with. A lot of people, you know, a lot of directors work with a lot of the same actors because you can trust, you know, them that they're gonna know what they're supposed to do. So even on my sets, like unless it's somebody just brand new that's never worked with me before that I really have to direct, you know, a lot of the times they make my job a lot easier to where we can all just work and flow together. And even my crew, I have somebody that I'm making sure you watching the monitor, you see things, even though everybody don't catch things like I do. So I got to go look at the playback. And I said from now on, I'm looking at playback because it's so many things when I get in the editing that I see that I'm like, so nobody saw this. Nobody seen this big old boom mic, like you know what I'm saying? Or nobody saw this cord just dangling in the middle of the screen. Nobody saw that, like you know what I'm saying? So, or it'd be like a water bottle somewhere all the way just sitting in the scene that
Just
ain't
sitting
supposed to
there.
be there,
Yeah.
you know. So but they've I've learned them and they learned me, and so we able to work like a well-oiled machine together, you know. So that's why, because I get a lot of people, DPs, that want to, you know, work with me, or even, you know, other crew members, and I'm like, listen y'all, I've learned, like when I've switched crews, I regret it every time, because especially when I'm playing in the film, I can't, I can't always, be the multiple hats at the same time.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I have to trust the people that I'm surrounded with in my crew. So
Yes.
that helps me out a lot. And like I said, working with a lot of the same people that are really talented and strong actors that I don't necessarily have to coach and direct. And it's more so like, once we ran through the table read and rehearsed and everything, and we understand what we need to do, I kind of like to let my actors, just become the character, and I trust them. So
Absolutely. And yeah, so thank you for sharing that. But Denise, I want your honest answer here. I mean, you've been honest this whole time, so I ain't got to worry about that. But yeah, so, um, what is it that are you truly happy with? What are you truly
as
happy with?
far as in the film
In,
industry
in general, overall,
in
what are
general,
you happy with?
I would have to say, to be able to do this full time as a
Okay.
single mom,
Hmm.
it brings me joy. And especially after a divorce, because I quit my job while married. because I
Mm,
had, that support system with his income, making sure that, bills and stuff were going to get paid as I was chasing this dream. But then I got a divorce, and it was like, how am I going to do this now? Like, it's not a consistent thing when it comes to, your movies making money. Your movie make, you
yes.
know, enough to pay your mortgage this month, and next month it ain't
Right.
even enough to pay the grocery bill. So it's like, it's been a challenge, but I have been relying on my faith in God that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be, because he, that was something scary for me to step out on faith and not go back to work after getting my divorce, because I'm like, I need to be able to take care of my child. I need to be able to pay my mortgage and everything. But I stepped out on faith and kept going. So I am truly happy to say that I have been doing this full time for 3 years without working another job. And that's just a blessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm rooting for your journey as well as your triumph. So yes, kudos to you on that. And now we had so much fun throughout this conversation, but I'm gonna have a little bit more fun with you, a couple of segments. And I hope you got your script ready. We're gonna hold on to that script. We're gonna do that in a minute. All right. Now,
Okay.
but before we get into that, I wanted to do a little bit of this or that. All right.
Okay.
Here they come, yo. Here they come.
All right. So Denise, I'm gonna put out some random stuff, and you have to choose one or the other. You can't choose both. You can't plead the fifth. Only one
Okay.
or the other. All
Okay.
right. All right. So, um, ocean or lakes,
Ocean.
night or day.
Night.
Okay. Cross color or Coogee.
I don't know what a cross colored is. I'm gonna have to say
No,
cootie.
yeah, no. If you don't know, no. I'm gonna do another. I'll do another one for you if you don't know. But cross colors
Okay.
was the style back in the day. It was around the time in the 90s. Coogee was those ugly, colorful sweaters that they used
I
to
remember
wear.
Coogee. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to let me see if I can try to find a picture while I continue. But all right. So Fashion Nova or Shein.
Shein.
Okay. And Target or Walmart. Why you
So
laugh?
are we going with where I go to more, or
No, what you
or
prefer,
what
like
I
this or that.
prefer?
This or
Okay,
that.
so uh I'm gonna say Walmart, because I go to Walmart and everything at Walmart.
Okay. So I'm still trying to find the Coogee. I'm still trying to find the Coogee. Okay, I think I see it here. What just time out real quick. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. All right. Because I mean
Cross,
once you
yeah, the
see
cross color.
once you see the pattern, then you might know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let me show this to you real quickly.
Okay,
You
so
know,
yeah, I
it's
remember Coogee.
okay. So you wanna
So
you
what's
wanna
the
try
cross
that again?
color?
Coogee or cross color?
What's
Oh, you already know Coogee. Oh, wait, it's a cross color you didn't know about.
right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. All right. I'll get that in a moment. But in the meantime, in between time, um, okay, Atlanta or Texas?
Texas.
Okay. And so now I'm not sure if you worked with these people or not, but I'm gonna just put it out there. And you let me know. Um shoe shoe lady Tanja, shoe lady Ayers or Lisa Brown?
Shoe lady.
All right, shout out to Shoe Lady Ayers as well as Lisa Brown. Make sure you check out their work as well. Now, Silk White or Kamal Smith.
I don't know who Silk White is. But even if
Oh,
I did, I'll probably go with Kamal, because I've that's my
that's your boy.
brother. That's my brother.
Yeah, so you would have been biased. Okay. Now let me show you the cross color real quick before we
Oh, I don't remember that.
you don't remember cross
Huh.
you don't not even the
Mm-mm. But
logo
I,
of the
I would
cross.
probably I would no, that logo doesn't even look familiar, but I probably would have chosen that one if I had knew it over just
Okay,
because
okay.
yeah.
Like the design better? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's what I said too. Like Coogee ugly. Yeah, but I mean that's just my
Yeah.
opinion. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. So alrighty. Um, ice ice cream or yogurt? Ice cream or frozen yogurt,
I,
I should say. Ice cream or frozen yogurt.
ice cream,
Hot dogs or hamburgers?
hamburgers.
Oh, okay. And I'm hoping that you're familiar with both of these people. Flavor Flav or Spliff Star.
I don't know who Split Star is, but
Spliff
I
Star, he's Busta Rhymes hype man. He always like when Busta
okay.
Rhymes perform live, he's his hype man.
I probably would go with him over Flavor Flav.
He said, "Wow, why you laugh? You just be cracking up. Like what you?"
I'm a silly, goofy person. Oh my goodness.
Yes. So and speaking of that, now Flavor of Love or I Love New York. Have you watched those?
Oh, uh, probably I love New York. Yeah, just because even though people like talk about her so much, that woman went from that and created her, her own name and her
It
own
was
show. So I gotta give her
yes.
her
That
props
was
for
reality
that.
TV gold. I mean, back then it was
Yes,
reality TV gold. Yeah.
yes.
And now acting or directing.
Acting for sure.
And thank you so much for playing with me. Thank you. That was good stuff. So now I need your script. And so, you're not supposed to know what we're supposed to kind of guess what we're doing, but
Okay.
we do this. But now I'm gonna do P verse, you're gonna do S verse. You're gonna I'm gonna do P.
Okay.
I'll start off and then you're gonna do S. Because we're
So
not supposed to know.
is is there like a version where you can see who's versus who?
Right, you know what? I wish there was, but but you remember the how it went, right? I mean, you remember like you kind of remember have an idea how it went. I mean, the actual script how it actually went.
I probably need to hear it, one good time,
You want
you
to do
know.
that real quick? I can
Yeah,
bring you down.
yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. No problem. All right, I'll bring you.
Let me see.
And hold on. Let me because I'm gonna put you on mute. Okay. All right, so we're gonna prepare. We doing a cold read, y'all. I like to use that term because I learned that from my from the guests that come on. We're doing a cold read, and we're gonna have a little fun. We're gonna act the part, and and I know that you're more than likely gonna know what it is, but you're not supposed to because we're gonna kind of do a different type of cadence, different type of delivery. So hopefully you would enjoy it nonetheless. Um, just let me know when you ready, Denise. Yeah, so but it was while she's studying this while she's studying her script, I just wanted to let you guys know those who are in the bushes, those who's going to catch the replay, or those who are been in the live in real time. I really appreciate the support and I appreciate everyone that was able to be a part of this because this is more than an interview for me. This is an experience right here because I mean, she was giving us so much, of her journey, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed the nostalgic details behind it. So I just appreciate Denise for sharing so much and being so candid about her journey. So I just really enjoyed every part of this interview. So I really appreciate her taking the time. You ready, Denise?
Yeah, we're gonna try this
Oh.
because I know for sure that that I'm not familiar with the song, so this is gonna be funny.
Yeah, but all right. So yeah, so I'm kind of like guide you towards it. I'll help you out.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll help you
Okay.
out. But in the meantime, let us act the part.
Action.
All right. So Denise, now I
Hmm.
know how talented you are. So I need you to make sure that you put your effort, your all into this, because you never know who's watching. Now this could be a true big break for you, because I know you ain't finished. I know you have so many credits under your belt, but this right here could just make or break your career. So I need you
Whew,
to make
it
sure
might break
that you
it.
do. Yes, exactly. I need you to make sure that you put your all into this, Denise. So are you ready, Denise?
Yes, I would. I don't even know. Like I said, I don't know which is which. I don't know who
I'll,
is
I'll let you
who.
know. I'll let you know. I'll
Okay.
let you know. But in the meantime, are you ready, Denise? You got to have confidence in this. I want you to have the
All right.
confidence.
All right. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Are you ready, Denise?
Yes,
Come on now. Come on. I need to hear. Are you ready, Denise?
I am ready.
Yes. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Now, action. Now, here I go again. I mean, you know what my weakness is, Denise. Like, you know what my weakness is. What's my weakness, Denise? What is my weakness?
Okay, then, like
No, no, no,
chilling,
no, no,
minding
no,
my
no. What is my
business.
weakness? No, no, that's my part. But what's my
Oh,
what's my
okay,
weakness? What's my
men.
weakness? Thank you. Okay, then.
Okay,
But I was chilling. I was minding. Now this time I was minding my business,
right.
and I looked around. I couldn't believe. Like, I mean, I swear, my niece is my witness. I could get her on the phone right now. My niece is my witness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the brother had it going on, so it was something kind of wicked, and I had to kick it with him. I had to kick it. You know, I wasn't shy. I'm not really that shy. I'm shy. So, I asked for the digits, right? I had to
Right.
ask for the digits. So, but that don't make me see what I slip. I slip aside to it swiftly. So I felt my hips and I dip back. I had to dip it back. I dip like that. Right here. Let me show you right here. Like this. I dip like this.
Dip
See,
back,
there you
dip
go. I
back,
dip.
dip
I dip
back.
like this. Yeah. I had to, kind of, dip and make me do tricks on him. So I
Mhm.
licked him, I licked him like lollipop. I don't know if I should say all this on screen right now, but I had to lick him like a like lollipop should be licked. But I came to
Right.
my senses. I came to my senses, So I chilled for a bit, I chill, you know. But but don't know how you do. I don't know how he does that. I don't know how he does that voodoo, that he does, that makes me. I don't even know. I couldn't even say anything else but shoot. He just made me want to shoot, and shoot, and more shoot. Just shoot all left and right, just shooting all willy nilly. That's all. That's all I had though, Denise. I had all at the time was shooting. But you should understand where I'm coming from, Denise. So let me know how packed this guy was. Remember, you was telling me the story about how he was
Right,
packed.
right, right. Because I mean,
Yeah.
he was packed and he was stacked. Especially in the back, right? I mean, brother, want to thank your mother for a butt like that, cause
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, mom. Like, can I get some fries with that shake and that buoy? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's cool. Could kid you, would be with a Uzi or a shotgun. Bang, like because we up in that thing, right? And I didn't want
Up
to
in the
do.
thing.
What I want to do. How does it hang? That's
How
what
does
I
it?
want to know. Straight up,
Ooh,
like
ooh,
wait up, hold up, because he was Mr. Lover,
mhm,
like Prince and a sexy mother.
mhm,
Well,
mhm.
I'm like, a wild boy, b-boy style, by like, when they used to run on the track, what they call it, a
Yeah.
mile, right?
Wow.
Yes, smooth black skin. Ooh, he must have been chocolate because he had a nice smile,
Ooh,
right?
look, mhm,
Bright as the sun,
mhm, mhm.
and
Yeah,
I just wanted to have some fun with
see what I'm
him,
talking about? That's what
Yes,
I'm
come
saying.
give me some of that yum yum, chocolate chip, honey dip, scoop, because my favorite is ice cream. I said that earlier,
Yep,
baby.
that's right.
Take a ride in the coupe. You make me wanna.
Ooh,
Do you
shoot,
know
that's what
what
I
I
want to
wanted to
shoot.
shoot do, baby? You know what I wanted to
Shoot, exactly. That's what I said. Make you want to shoot all up in that place and sing. You know,
do?
that's what's up, Denise. See, you.
Yo, I
That
ain't
was
never
you didn't
did
do
nothing like
bad
that
at
before.
all.
That was crazy.
But you did the thing. You did that. You did the thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's real creative. I like that.
Oh, you like that? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right. All right. But thank you so much. I mean, I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that because I was wondering who's going to top your man on his because I think his is one of my top ones. One of my top favorites. I don't know if you saw it or not. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
So
check it. I'm gonna have to
yeah,
check it
check
out.
it because that actual clip got like over 2,000 views.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So don't they? Make sure you check that one out. I'm probably I'll send you the
Okay.
clip. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Send it to me. Send it to me.
Yeah. So, but Denise, these are the final two questions that I love to ask because I enjoy the responses that I get before we wrap up. So, this question here. If you had the opportunity to have five people at the seat of your table, dead or alive, who would they
Mm,
be and why? And I need the why for each one.
man. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, so number one person that I'm having my table is Jesus, so I could be asking him,
Mhm.
you know, guidance. What I'm supposed to do, Lord. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yes, yes.
Um, absolutely. One of my favorites who I look up to, admire, um, I love my girl Angela Bassett.
Okay.
I inspire to be a wonderful actress just like she. I also love um my girl Regina. Um
Which Regina?
she Regina King.
Okay.
Just just like hearing her journey, starting off acting and now, even seeing her be, directing and things like that. I know
Right.
I could learn
Mhm.
so much from her. So definitely have to have her at the table. Um, let me see who else. Who else would I have at the table? Hmm. I would probably trying to think.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
Think.
yeah,
Try not to mhm.
yeah. Trying to think about who's gone that has so many.
Yeah, because it could be anyone
No.
dead or alive. Anybody.
Right, right,
It don't have to be famous.
right. I'm like, who's gone too soon that had probably had so much that I can learn from. Um, mm, I can't think of who's someone that's not here because I just know as far as like where I'm trying to go in my journey, and the people that I think of that I will want to like get advice from and learn from. Um,
And if you don't have, I mean, if you don't have like, because it could change tomorrow, but if you don't have
right,
anyone, even if
right.
they're still alive, I mean, if it could be, they could be all alive. This is
Yes, yes. But I
people.
know so like, people just like that I said people that inspire me as far as like film. So I probably would my fourth person I would probably have to say Denzel Washington. Just learning and seeing his journey as well. And even him, transitioning to uh being more speaking more about his faith and everything.
Yes.
So I love that as well, so I would definitely have him at the table. And then the last person I probably have at the table is my son, for sure,
Oh,
because everything that I'm learning, I want to instill in him too. I want him to be at the tables that I'm at, because it's just him
right.
and I, so that would be my five right now. Yep.
Yeah, I like that answer. I like that one about your son. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you want to make sure that he's able to kind of get a taste of the legacy before you're gone, so
Right.
he's able to witness that legacy. So yeah, I like that answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is question I take from the late James Lipton from inside the actor studio. So Denise Monet, when you enter into the pearly gates, what would you want God to say?
I want him to say, "My child, I know you. I knew you."
Mm, love it,
I
love it.
I definitely want, you know, I try my best to, treat people right and show love, because I know that nothing that I do in this world, no matter if I'm, a good person, a bad person, if I try to live my life right, if I don't sin, if I do sin, none of that is going to get me into the kingdom of heaven except for Jesus Christ. So I
Yes.
accept him as my Lord and Savior. I try to have a relationship with him, and and I give all honor and glory to him for everything that I have. And I want people to be able to see that within me when I'm speaking, how I treat people and how I move within my life, within my business. And so, that way, whenever that time does come, I want him to know me.
Yes. Yes, amen to that. Amen to that. And so before we wrap up this this wonderful interview, any final words you have for us?
I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity to even speak with me. I'm grateful because I'm starting to get, recognized more. And so I love that people are even wanting to sit down and
Yes.
have conversation with me. So thank you for that. Make sure you guys be on the lookout for what I have coming up. I have so much dropping, and so much out. So, make sure you support what's already out. Marry Little Baby, Murder on the Blade, Bash, Fatal Fraud. Um, Carmen and Magic. And I'm just happy to even be collaborating with the people in Detroit. Because when I go out there next month, I'm going to be executive producing along with Dewan Ford. So we are collaborating
Yes.
together, me, him, and Emery, on a project out there. And so I'm excited for what's to come.
Yes.
And then my next To Be original will be dropping at the beginning of next year, where I not only wrote it, but I'm also the lead.
All right.
So I'm
Yes, I
excited.
love it. I love it. And
Yeah.
I'm excited for you and I'm so proud of your journey. I'm proud of you, period. And so make sure that you check everything out. Just type Denise Monet on the Tubi search bar and all her work is gonna come up.
Yes.
Her information, the links to our socials is gonna be in the description box underneath this video. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Denise Monet, y'all. Please give it up for Denise Monet. Thank you so much. And Denise, can you stay behind for me, please? After we wrap.
Sure.
All right, thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Yes, so Denise Monet, y'all. I mean, she's just and she don't look a day over 28, by the way, and she has so much life that she lived. I just was looking at her skin and just how natural, like natural hue that she got going on. I'm looking like her, like how she lived all this life, and she haven't been on this earth that long. But hey, hey, I'm proud of her nonetheless. And so make sure you check out, like I said before, please support our Black independent artists in any aspect of entertainment because this thing is it's not a game, it's not for the weak. And so for her to put her hard work, blood, sweat, and tears into everything that she does, make sure that you support her. Show her that you are appreciative of the efforts that she put into everything that she does. Please make sure that you provide that support. Make sure you are streaming. Make sure that they know that we're watching. So I just really appreciate you being here, everyone that support, whether, like I said, on the replay, whether it was in real time, whether you're looking in the bushes. I thank you guys so much for just being here to, like I said, be a part of this experience. I don't want to call it an interview. I want it to be a part of this experience. So thank you so much. And if you don't hear from me or see me between now and this coming Wednesday on June 17th, I'm going to be having another phenomenal actor by the name of Isaiah Wimbush at on Wednesday, June 17th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you're in the building for that. In the meantime, just do what my girl Nicole says.
If you find the time to like, share, subscribe, don't forget, faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Make sure you like, subscribe today.
Oh,